This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Grant Hall with us on Halftime on these Wednesdays. We appreciate his time here joining us. Grant, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Phil. You guys?
I'm good, man. Yeah, really good.
Doing good. It's a wonderful Wednesday.
Well, we got a football game on Saturday, and I asked the question about what does the Golden Boot mean to you, to Matt Jones. He twisted it to mean, to bring up really the meaning of this game on Saturday. The trophy's part of it, and it's a smaller part of it than what's really at stake for a football program that wants to get to postseason play. It's about getting to postseason play as quickly as you possibly can, Grant, and it should have happened last weekend, but it didn't. And we don't know, you're looking ahead to the next couple of games, man. You're like, oh, boy, it might come down to Mizzou. But that's what this Saturday is about, bouncing back and ensuring a bowl game, right?
Yeah, and this 175-pound boot that was David Basil's brainchild, I think you're right. It probably means more to Arkansas than it does to LSU. I mean, there have been years when LSU won and oh, yeah, hey, let's go get this thing. And, of course, Arkansas runs and parades around the field with it. And but I imagine the game means a lot to both teams. LSU has got a lot to play for, and all of a sudden they're a player, in college football. And if anything, I think that might help Arkansas a little bit. That you can talk about bowl games and everything, but these next three, you might be facing opponents that are tougher than what you're going to see in a bowl game. Even Missouri, I saw this thing the other day. Missouri has not given up more than 26 points to any SEC team. And if you saw their Kentucky game, they came out on the wrong end of a couple of really close calls down in the fourth quarter. They could have won that. So they're still playing hard. But yeah, I mean, it should be, I think it should be a lot of fun Saturday.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. Cause last Saturday wasn't any fun. It just wasn't, you're just, you gotta be floored when, and I think Sam Pittman referenced this on Monday. Like, why were there such poor, look, they've started poorly in other games, but against Missouri State, down 17-0, 21-0 to Liberty, and to give credit where credit is due. I mean, those teams outplayed Arkansas in those moments, but man, it doesn't make much sense because these are teams that you should beat and you should play well against from the very start.
Yeah, when Sam came into the interview area afterwards, you could tell he'd already given this thing some serious thought. And he made the comment that there, I'm getting a weird thing on my end. Are you still there?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, I'm sorry. But he talked about how the team last year had 19 super seniors, and really said that element of leadership isn't the same this year. You don't have Grant Morgan and some other guys, and you got some of the guys you have like Bumper Poole, who has had to be not playing all the plays because of injury, and of course KJ Jefferson's been hurt. Phil, you and I think we talked about this before the game Saturday. I was just watching him in warm up. I wasn't sure he was going to play, and we'd heard, someone had said he wasn't going to play, and afterwards you could tell by what Hazelwood said he wasn't sure. The players didn't know. And I do think he missed that practice time last week. They were just out of sync. And then you add in really, they just weren't like they were for some other games. And Liberty's not bad. So it added up to a loss.
Yeah, I was going to kind of ask you, what's the difference, the biggest difference from last year's team at Arkansas that beat that LSU team to this year's team? And when you look at the stats, both quarterbacks have right under 2,000 yards throwing. They're real similar, and LSU doesn't their stats aren't just absolutely crazy on offense. And Vegas has it at 3. I mean, I don't know what they know that I don't know. But what are your thoughts? What is Arkansas going to have to do to get this victory?
Well, I mean, Matt, I'm like you. When I saw Jaden Daniels last week, it's not that easy to beat Alabama and to go 25 yards on the first play in overtime.
He got better as the game went on, huh? It looked like.
He did. He completed that 2-point pass. They had a lot of confidence in that play. They had not shown that play, as Kelly said afterwards. And here's Alabama that's lost these 2 really close games, and they're in an unaccustomed position right now. But as far as Arkansas, I mean, I think Sam kind of hit it on the head there that you had 19 super seniors, and this team doesn't have that. And they also, I mean, I think KJ was so good last year. That, for example, the Penn State game, I think about that. He rushed for 108 or something in the third quarter by himself, and just kind of took that thing over. And if he's limited, which he appears to be with a shoulder or whatever it is, that's a big part of what Arkansas's got going for it. I mean, Matt, I saw you play some games where you were the difference. I mean, a quarterback who can run and pass and just kind of control the game. So I hope for Arkansas fans' sake that he's in a lot better physical condition this week.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was looking around the league. You got Alabama at Ole Miss and TCU and Texas. There's a couple games on the not as, I don't think it's as good as week as last week, but what goes on? Bama, Ole Miss. What are your thoughts on that game if Bama takes another L?
I think Alabama wins it. I still think they're really good. Bryce Young is the same guy he was. Now, he doesn't have the receivers he had, and they've had 4 close games this year. I think they're 2-2 right in those close games. I like Saban over Kiffin this week. Kiffin he's had some fun this year, and I'm sure he has had some fun talking about games after he wins them and so forth. But I still think Alabama, and I don't think they're totally out of it. If you look, I was doing this the other day, guys, mathematically, there could be a 4 or 5-way tie with 3 losses in the SEC West. And it's not the only crazy thing about it. I mean, it might involve Alabama like losing to Auburn, which probably seems impossible right now. I know, Cadillac Williams had them playing pretty good last week, but that would not seem very likely. But this thing isn't. If Arkansas can beat LSU, then it's going to get pretty interesting.
That would be interesting because then you'd end up probably with you're looking down the list of tiebreakers, 4th, 5th, 6th tiebreaker, and it just comes down to a coin flip. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out in those scenarios if Arkansas, because I don't even know what they are. I don't know the order of them. I'd have to look at that. First, I guess your record against the other teams that are tied, and you go on and so forth. But it'd be kind of fun if it came down that way.
Well, I mean, Alabama, I guess theoretically, mathematically, and all that is still in the running and everything. But I mean, it'd be pretty rough or pretty amazing to make it from 9th in the voting to in the top 4 still. So I kind of wonder, for these guys at Alabama that are we come here to play for a national championship, and now that really does seem like it's out of reach. I think it's out of reach for them. They're going to play maybe in a New Year's Six game, but you're going to end up seeing Alabama players opting out of bowl games. You're not going to opt out of playoff games. That's just not going to happen. But you saw what happened last year to Jamison Williams, in the SEC championship game. These guys, for a team that's made up of supposed future NFL players, there's going to be a lot of opt-outs once they get to the bowl game.
Yeah, what was that stat I read the other day that Alabama, since 2008, has played 3 games that didn't bear on the national championship picture? So this is new ground for them.
One of these days, Matt, we'll get to the point where fans don't rush the field once they beat Alabama. But we're not there yet because it's happened twice this year already.
I think it'll happen if Arkansas beats them in Fayetteville. What's it been, 16, 17 years since they beat them?
I think they'd tear the stadium. The goalposts would come down. Don't you think?
I mean, let's don't go throw it on the river. Let's set it up and so set it up somewhere where we can keep it. Grant, what TCU Texas? Gary Patterson is at Texas. I just found that out. How long's he been there? And what are any TCU? Are they for real?
He's been there this year. I have a hard time always thinking that TCU is for real.
Right.
Going back to when Arkansas beat them 22 straight and so forth. But I mean, they've been in the discussion before for these playoff spots. So I guess it could happen. I mean, somebody wrote today that they thought Tennessee would end up getting it over them if it came down to that. But they got to just keep winning and make the committee do something else.
I think Phil has said that that there's no way that if an undefeated Power Five that you just can't do it, right?
Well, for one thing, they're already in. Now they're in the top 4. They're in the top 4. So if they win out, if they win the Big 12, they're in. Mm-hmm. They're just in. Mm-hmm. I don't care about brand name. I don't care about what they think the TV ratings are going to be and everything. They went out. TCU, Horned Frogs. They're in the playoffs.
I think they could go down this week to Texas. I think Texas could end it. Yep.
Absolutely, they could. You're not going to root for the Longhorns, though, Matt. Come on, right?
And just like I can't root for Tennessee. I had Georgia all day. Just like Tennessee, just something about that tea and burnt oranges. Ugh.
Grant, you're a journalist, so you're not supposed to root or anything like that. But you also grew up in the state of Arkansas. Who can? You're one of the nicest guys on earth, but I'm sure there's a team out there that you just can't stand their stupid face. Who is it?
Well, Frank Broyles said it. I hate orange. Whether it was Texas or Tennessee or I'm probably not quite as virulent about Texas. Clay Henry has fun talking about hating Texas and everything, but I guess it's just. I mean, right now the one that sticks in your craw is Alabama. Matt, you said it was all these years in a row. They got to somehow get through that and get that win, but. Guys, I want to mention quickly basketball last night. Arkansas is not last night.
2 nights ago.
I was Eric talking about it, but they play really good defense, and of course we don't know the Nick Smith situation and everything, but this is a fun team to watch. And Council talked on radio last night. He was the 6th man of the year, I think, in his conference. They got some guys that are going to do spectacular things every game. It's going to be a really fun team.
They were fun to watch. They're going to be so much better here in 6 weeks. But just watching it now, South Dakota State. I don't know if they have one player, maybe one that could play on this Arkansas team, but they did what they were supposed to do, and I love how. That it seems the three-pointer is going to be the icing this year, and not going to have to rely on it. But we're going to be physical. We're going to be long. We're going to get into the lanes. It's going to be a fun year up there on the hill, especially if you can get your stud. That's what Chuck was saying, Phil. That if you get your stud, you'll be all right.
Well, when you only shoot 10 threes, that kind of tells you what they think. I thought this was funny. Eric said last night, he said, we had a guy on this team that didn't even know we had a game day shoot-around. That's how young they are.
A lot of new faces, yeah.
That was funny. That caught me. That one caught me. Like, well, hold on a moment. He wasn't going to tell us who it was, but that one caught me. It's like, wait a minute. They don't do shoot-arounds in high school or something? What's going on here?
Yeah, not sure what program doesn't do that, but there you go.
Well, I'm excited about the women's team too. I know you didn't get a chance to watch it. I don't know, unless you were there in Pine Bluff, but so we'll talk a lot about Nick Smith Jr. and about Trevin Brazile and Ricky Council and all of that. I'm going to tell you what, you're going to be talking a lot about Saylor Poffenbarger, because this girl can flat out play. She can flat out score. She can shoot. She's silky smooth with the ball, Grant. She was a lot of fun to watch on Monday.
Yeah, I saw some footage. One question I had for you, Phil, Dowda only played 13 minutes, didn't start. I guess she was in foul trouble, but I was surprised that she didn't start and didn't play more than that. What's up with her, do you know?
Well, I think part of it is that you have size at the guard position with Carr and with Poffenbarger getting the start, and Erin Barnum is going to be, probably the starting 5. For now, she's a veteran, been there 5 years, performed well. Defends well, rebounds well. So I guess I'm not super surprised about that right now, but we'll see how things progress throughout the season, because Mary M is also a difference maker, I think, on both ends of the court. So, but I have a feeling it has more to do with you already have size at certain positions, and you have somebody that I think Mike trusts at the 5 with Barnum.
Yeah, and I saw where both teams have good recruits coming, too, so it all looks pretty good.
Got that right.
Football is back, and BetOnline remains your number one source for all your football betting needs this season. You'll find the latest odds, matchup info, player news, and game trends. And as your continued source for all sports wagering info, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, live scores, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports and events like MLB, MMA, tennis, boxing, and even golf. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 100% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. Bet online, where the game starts.